So welcome back to our season two, episode two episode of the Nerds Who Drink. So Mark, since this was your week to pick a beer, you're up.
All right, so I picked a nice American lager, but from Conshohocken Brewer Company called Ring the Bell. Obviously from Pennsylvania. Yingling's obviously our thing when it comes to lager, so I figured this would be a good choice to kind of opposite of last week with the hazy IPA.
I mean, it smells fantastic. I'll tell you that right now.
That pour thing doesn't work, by the way, the little life hack.
Fuck that life hack. Life hack the shit out of this thing.
Oh, I smell like beer now, so
Oh, you know what?
that's always a
It
good thing.
it doesn't smell bad, I'll tell you what. And for a little tasty, a solid lager. A little more bite than a Yingling, but I think it's decent. Ring the Bell, American Lager, and Conshohocken Brewing Company. I like it.
They got a few good ones there.
All right. Well, we're gonna have to head back up there sometime, and
A little hidden gem.
maybe we'll do see if we can do a partnership with them. Give us some fucking beers. So Mark and I recorded a little bit ago to try to get our juices flowing again, and since then we've done quite a few things, especially of the nerdy type. So Mark, I'll let you start it off. What have we done since our last recording?
All right. So first things first was we did attend the Philadelphia Fan Expo all 3 days down there. I know
Fucking
Steve
awesome.
got to meet a lot more people than I did. However, some of the roster cast there was Hayden Christensen, Anakin Skywalker, obviously. You had Rosario Dawson, who's in a bunch of stuff, but currently being live action Ahsoka. The whole gang from the live action Avatar: The Last Airbender was there. Uh, Ethan Suplee from American History X and Boy Meets World and a bunch of other projects was there. Tom Cavanaugh, the Reverse Flash was there.
God, he was awesome.
Dude, I attended his forum. Dude, he's awesome. Like at the end of it, this like little kid was like on the edge of the stage and was like, I have a Lego action figure of yours. And he's like, cool, like that's yours. The kid's like, no, I want to give it to you. He's like, I'm taking it, right? But
That's
like the way he
awesome.
said it to the kid was like maybe like 9 or 10, give or take. But nah, he was really cool. I got to talk to him about Scrubs, and he was like really amped to talk about being on Scrubs as JD's brother. Uh, I feel like a lot of people go up to him and ask about like the Reverse Flash. I feel like that just gets monotonous. So like when people throw like something different at you, I
Yeah, I think it's
feel like they
especially like if
appreciate it.
you've been a fan for longer than the Flash has existed,
Right,
that
like
says something too.
they appreciate it.
Oh, absolutely. No, he was pretty cool. I talked to him and his assistant manager, whoever was there with him, about some like local restaurant spots and the food scene in Philadelphia. And again, he's just like super nice, real down to earth guy that gave us the time of day to kind of like sit there and just BS for a little bit, which was awesome. Um, in regards to Fan Expo, like you said, I guess, I had the opportunity to meet, and I was lucky enough to meet Hayden Christensen, Rosario Dawson, Ashley Eckstein. Again, like she's always just a pleasure to talk to. The cast of the live action Avatar, which was insane how short their lines were. Like those are the untapped gems right now. Again, because I thought that the show itself was like really well written. I thought the show was really well cast.
I'm 2 or 3 episodes in, and I mean, there's obviously like a couple things, like you were
Sure.
saying, there's a couple things that like if you can let go, it's a very, very good show.
And that's the thing.
Not M. Night Shyamalan's disaster.
Yes, which funnily enough, like mentioning live action Avatar to them that was not theirs kind of just made everyone cringe, which was hilarious because they all knew. And so Dallas Liu, who is Prince Zuko, was the first person I talked to. And he actually surprisingly didn't even have a line. So when I got a chance to walk up and talk to him, we talked for Christ, 10, 15 minutes. And just, I asked him about his experience on the show, his experience being like a leading role now. Found out he was on Shang-Chi and the Ten Rings, which, again, if you've seen the movie, he's one of those characters that kind of goes under the radar. Um, and it's just he's a super nice guy, super down to earth. Like, I'm really glad I had the opportunity to talk to him. There wasn't like the line of people behind me waiting, so it wasn't taking anything away from anyone, which is kind of cool. I did notice his line got bigger as the weekend went on. I guess as people sort of realized he was there, I was lucky enough to scoop him on a Friday. So I think, again, my biggest for the weekend obviously was Hayden Christensen. He was my white whale from last year that I missed out on. Still very upset about that, but I'm glad I got a chance to talk to him this year.
He seems like he's like a super chill
He
person.
is. He had music going, like behind the scenes where we were. And it was just, kind of popped in. He would talk to you, you talk back. And I mean, it was a fairly short interaction, if I'm being honest, but I was okay with it because I think when I was talking to you about my day for Saturday, I was like, I'm not really sure like what the plan is. And I had it in my mind that like Hayden Christensen, Rosario Dawson, like those were the two big names that I was trying to hit. And I really wanted to basically, if I had to spend my day on those two, I could eat it on Sunday and pick up the slack on Friday if needed. And I expected like almost a 2 hour wait for each of those celebrities. Thankfully, the VIP ticket sort of jumped me to the front of those lines, and I was done all of my signatures on Saturday by like 11:05. So I'm not complaining.
Dude, when you sent me that text, I was like, dude, he's gonna be gone before I even get down there. Like,
And yeah, I mean, I was able to thankfully just kind of like mosey around with my wagon full of signed shit.
do
But yeah, I'm very, very excited for next year, and I'm planning on trying to hit up MegaCon Orlando.
I
Ewan
want
McGregor's supposed to
to
be there. He is my
your
he is my
white, your new white
final,
whale,
my new white whale.
your final boss.
Yes, he is the final boss. If I can get him to sign the other half of the Battle of Heroes, like Mustafar box set lightsaber box that I have, I will cry.
That'd be legit.
That would be fucking awesome. Um, other than the celebrities, like what did you enjoy about Fan Expo?
Honestly, I just like the atmosphere down there. Like everybody's very kind-hearted. There's no judging by anybody because number one, there's no room to judge. But
That's true.
even so, I've gone twice now, three times, twice because we did Baltimore first and Philly twice together, right?
Well, did you do Philly last year?
No, I did it the year before. And the
Okay,
year
so
before
and we've
that,
done
I
Philly
think we
twice.
did.
I've done Philly three times.
Yeah, so I've
Last year
done
I just
Philly
did
the
one day,
your
but
first and third, and then the year prior we did Baltimore, right?
mhm.
Yeah. But like even like the celebrities, every time we've gone, like they've all been super chill. Like I talked to the cast of the off, well, some of the cast of the office, like Creed, Oscar, and Angela, or not Angela, I'm sorry, it was Meredith,
Meredith.
Kate Flannery. And she was been there both times, and like she's a Philly girl, dude. Like her, the whole like forum that they did, like the first thing she did was like they introduced everybody. And obviously Dwight was last, but like they introduced like Kate Flannery. She's like, "Yeah, Philly." She came like flipping out. But like just having conversations with them, like they're just chill people. They're not like they have no arrogance in their tone. Like they make time for everybody. Like they actually want to have conversations with you.
Yeah, I think that's one of the biggest things. I know I jumped up with you guys to chat with the cast of The Office. Honestly, again, not even getting stuff signed by them, just to go up and have a conversation with them was pretty cool. Like they're normal people, they're super down to earth, and I can appreciate that. I'll never be a celebrity, but I feel like if I was, I'd probably be similar to them. You know, you got to
I hope
appreciate
so,
where you
dude.
started.
I hope I'd be.
Yeah, I mean, I
Don't
never,
get me
you
wrong,
never
I'd be
know.
arrogant as shit. I know I would. Like immediately, I'd have the stick up my ass. But no,
I
I feel like I'd have some humility.
I have to, and again, I guess like for like Hayden Christensen in regards to a fan expo, style meeting or any kind of Comic Con, I understand not wanting to just be photographed all day like a fucking a zoo animal.
Right.
I get it. He is Anakin Skywalker. He is, the first iteration of young Darth Vader. I get it. But even still, like, he wasn't a dick. I heard Chevy Chase was an asshole.
Was he? Yeah. I like his movies, but I had no intention of even trying.
I didn't care to meet him either. Again, when I'd found out that the Reverse Flash Funkos were there and we were like scouring the fucking earth trying to find them. Um, yes. We will be taking pictures of all of these items and posting them on our new Instagram, Nerds Who Drink. I've been diligently updating all of our socials, and Mark and I have been trying to get together some ideas on a new intro and all of this other fun stuff. So please keep your eyes and ears peeled for all of the new fun things that we're going to have in store. And I would like to start out fresh and hot with a giveaway. I will figure out what that is and we'll go from there. But yeah, I mean, honestly, that was an awesome experience. I love doing that stuff with you guys. Excited to do it again next year. And
Definitely.
if there's any other, I know there's a too many games or something along those lines that's going to be up at the Greater Philadelphia Expo Center. It's like a TTRPG, like if you're into Dungeons and Dragons or Warhammer or one of those types of games. It's like tabletop games. That's going on. I'd like to hopefully get up there next month. If not, it's not a huge deal, but that's my segue into what Mark and I are currently doing, which is what we did last week. We started a D&D campaign with little to no fucking experience doing that.
Yeah, I think the only person that's really experienced is Jay.
Yes.
Well, I don't even know how long he's been playing for, but I mean, AJ literally decided 5 minutes before the game started that he was going to play.
And
He
then
had
everyone else has like a game or two or zero under their belt.
pretty much.
Like I try to do the Dungeons and Drafts stuff in the Philadelphia area or Delaware or New Jersey because they're local, but they're one shots. I mean, again, the DMs there are awesome. I've had such a fun experience doing it. You got to come out to one, but I've never run a game before, and I'll tell you what, I am one of those like over preparer people when it comes to that kind of shit. Like I just have pages and pages and pages of shit on my phone where I'm like, fuck, should have organized this better. And I got to do this. And like, then I realized the flaw and the error in my ways of like what I should have done for session number zero. And I'm
Thinking,
going to hopefully,
you mean thinking
course
levels.
correct and move forward, with other shit. So it's an interesting experience running a game versus playing in a game.
See, what you mean is you didn't think like us. You thought logically.
Yes. And that was where mistake number one happened.
Like arm wrestling the stable
Yeah, the
jockey
stables owner for horses.
owner.
Exactly. Not ready for that. But don't you fucking worry. We're ready for session one and all the way up to however many I got, 15 maybe. Who fucking knows?
Let's get it.
We'll talk about this shit for like an entire year.
Oh, dude. And then
I'm
I can't wait to just see like the progression of everybody. Because like
That's
whenever
gonna
you
be
run a
fun.
new game, like at first, like you're like, I'm like me, like I'm just learning as I'm going. I'm not really trying to do research because I like getting like surprised. But then it kills me because it's like, oh, you're getting attacked by this. It's like I don't know what the fuck that is. So like, but like by the end, I don't know.
I'll,
I'm just
I'll tell you what, you need. So I'm not gonna say you don't need to research because obviously you need to know like what your strengths and weaknesses are. However, what I've realized with D&D is the more creative your response and reaction is, usually is the more successful way to do things. So I played a one shot at a Dungeons and Drafts in Delaware and somehow managed to never actually roll for initiative for combat. I managed to walk my way through the game. The only time we did a roll for initiative was for a sporting event that we had to endure, and it was just for like who's going first, who's going second, etc. So I again, if you look at like your character sheet and what you have as like items in your pockets, and you can creatively do things like our goal was to get apples to bears so the bears didn't kill us, and it was to do it as quickly as possible. Well, I had these like spikes in my pocket that were called pythons, and then I had a 50-foot rope, and I was standing directly in the center of a 60-foot like bridge. So I had 50 feet of rope. I was able to throw it, grab the apple, and then throw the apple into the bear's mouth. And like that was my creative way to solve a problem without getting murdered or without murdering a bear. Because again, you got to realize these are like OP as fuck bears. They're not just like, oh, it's a regular bear. No, they're like bears with the strength and dexterity of a fucking monster. So
I was expecting that story to go the other way, where you took the rope and took the spikes and tied the spikes in the rope to create a weapon, where you just kind of created like a lasso of spikes for the bear and then tamed it.
see, I may have been able to do that. How like I forget what the exact like scenario was, but there was definitely more than one bear, and there was more than one of my like party members that were too close to like if I fucked that up, they would have been dead. So I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna feed the bears. And it was a creative solution to like an odd problem. So that's what I've realized D&D is like how fucking weird and creative you can get while also solving the problem. Um, I have a lot of stuff in store for you guys. I'm very excited to see how everyone sort of navigates the weirdness of what I'm about to throw down. But yeah, it's going to be an interesting year plus time that we're going to be playing this campaign.
Yeah, no, I'm excited. Like I've always wanted to get into D&D, but like I just never I feel like it's one of them games that like just recently kind of like I know it's always been popular, but like
Yeah.
it just recently got like mainstream popular to where
Oh,
like
absolutely.
before it was like you played, but like you didn't tell people you played.
I blame Stranger Things.
Oh, 100%. I'm not arguing at it, but you know what I mean? So it was like for me, it was like I always wanted to get into it. And like I didn't know anybody who played because nobody talked about playing it. And now like everybody I work with, I was talking to them about the thing, and like 3 out of 4 people were like, "Oh, like what's your build? Like, oh, what's the like theme of your guys' campaign? Like this." And I'm like, "You guys all play this?" Like,
I'll tell you what, and you know, this is going to show, like, I guess the era of like when we went to high school, which was and was not that long ago. Um, but like, I never imagined myself playing D&D. That's just, I mean, again, like it was one of those things that like I never really knew about it. I didn't know enough about it to like love it or hate it. So I was like, it's just one of those things that I'm cool with like never experiencing. And then I think it was Jay that was like, hey, I'm doing this. And I was like, hey, you're a fucking nerd because I love him. And, that's just my immediate gut response to something like that. And he talked me through it. And I was like, you know what? Fuck it. Like, I'll try it. Then I tried it and I really do enjoy being creative. It's not like a video game where, like, all right, you have this, and there's like basically one way, like God of War, you're gonna hack and slash your way through, or like Splinter Cell. Okay, you can kill or you can be sneaky. Like it's like, okay, this is an open world game in which anything that you can possibly imagine is a reality and a possibility. That's what I think I like about it because I am a creative mind. So I'm like, fuck it. Let me think of some odd ass shit that probably shouldn't exist, but fuck it, we're gonna do it anyway.
no, and that's why I think that your campaign's going to be good, is because like you think outside the box,
Well, thank you. I appreciate that, and I hope you
and
guys continue
that's
to
going to
enjoy
fuck
it.
us up.
It
because
it's going to be good and bad.
yeah, because I
Also,
mean we already know who the reckless one of the group is.
I do. And I made the promise that after session zero, strictly because I didn't want to have you guys re-roll for new characters before we actually started, there will be no more warnings of death. Um, yeah, that was my one big thing. I was like, I just don't want to have you guys die immediately. But again, so be it. We will see where the campaign takes us, and I'm excited to see you guys grow as players and myself hopefully grow as a DM. It's just so much fucking fun. But
Can't
I
wait to
mean,
see what the next
I
piece of
don't
what
think,
Jade falls into.
yeah, I don't think it gets much more, nerds who drink, so to speak. Shameless plug in the middle of our own podcast, than like us literally sitting around planned out on a fucking Saturday or a Sunday playing D&D or planning out our next Comic-Con. So like if that's the kind of stuff that you guys are interested in or you think your friends are interested in, please share our stuff out. Like we had a decent fan base prior to our hiatus and we're trying to regrow. Um, I'm very much excited to take this new adventure and go from there. Looking into some cool stuff for our mobile podcasting unit and what I'd like to do for future things. And it's just it's exciting to kind of get back out there and get the creative juices flowing again and the alcoholic juices flowing as well.
Absolutely.
So are you looking forward to any TV series, movies, etc. coming out? I know we got a lot of things on the horizon that we're going to be covering. As we've said before in our previous episode, we're not really going to be doing an episode by episode thing. It's going to be if we're recording and there's been a couple episodes, we'll talk about them. But we're I think we wasted a lot of time, and I don't want to say wasted as in like I think it was a useless thing. I just feel like there was so much more we could have talked about content wise that was out there rather than like oh this is an episode one of Obi-Wan or oh this is episode two of She-Hulk. Like
Well, that
if we
was a
don't even want
waste
to
of
talk
time.
about it, fuck it, we're just not even going to talk about it. Like She-Hulk was an absolute waste of goddamn time. Let's just call that what it is. And fuck you, Brie Larson. But she has nothing to do with She-Hulk, but just understand that that's going to be a consistent theme throughout all of this. Um, but yeah, we're going to try to cover the things that we want to cover and skip the things that we don't really care about unless it's like entirely relevant to the plot point that we're getting at. But I think we're, like I said, we made a slight pivot in what we're doing because again, we're still nerds at heart. And at the end of the day, we are very much still going to be doing this shit whether we do a podcast or not. So whether we are texting throughout the week or catching up and grabbing a beer, we do this not just for us, we do this for you guys as well. So
Absolutely. So what do you,
so
as
good.
far as the beer, what do you think? I
As
know
far as
it's
the
just
beer goes,
lager,
I
but
so it's a good lager. I'm going to be honest with you. So I like their motto, which is "Go where the path takes you." Again, it's a solid lager. Like I don't know if you're listening and you've tried a Yingling, think of that. I think it has a little bit more like
a
of a
little
bite
sweeter.
to it at the end.
See, I feel like it's a little bit lighter, like the taste.
Oh no, I definitely agree. It's a lighter taste. I just feel like whatever the flavor is on the back, I can't pin it again. I don't. It's an American lager. Like it's the barley. It's not hoppy. Whatever. I don't know what the fuck's in it. We're gonna let's look. Nope,
No ingredients.
no ingredients, which is wonderful. I guess that's on me for thinking there was going to be an ingredients on a beer can. Who the fuck am I? It shows you how my health has been recently, or that I'm like looking at fucking ingredient lists.
But nah, as far as things I'm looking forward to, I mean, we got House of the Dragon coming up, season two. I
Okay,
think
exciting.
that's next month, I think.
I believe so.
Then in July, we got Deadpool and Wolverine.
that I am very much looking forward to. Just before that, though, I think 2 weeks from now, we have the Acolyte.
We do, and Tales of the Empire just dropped on Disney too.
I did see that. I haven't watched it yet. Not even gonna lie. I know I'm slacking on Star Wars shit because you know
So
um
it's 7 or 8 episodes, I think. I'm pretty sure all the episodes dropped. They're like 20 minutes a piece. I got through like 4 or 5 of them.
okay.
But all I'll tell you is that we follow what was her name? Ellsworth or Els?
Morgan
The witch.
Elsbeth.
Yes. The witch from Ahsoka. We follow her from like her probably early teen years.
Okay.
Who I just got to the point where she like links up with Thrawn. So
Hmm.
we're seeing like how she fell into that group.
I am actually okay with that. So I've always believed that we need a little bit more of the dark side, so to speak.
Absolutely. Just
Which is why
like
I'm so fucking excited for the Acolyte.
you always need more of the villain sometimes.
You do, and you know what? There are so many great villains. Like again, we and I when I say this, I don't want people to get offended. I don't need a Darth Vader origin story. I got that shit. Like I don't give me a fucking Darth Vader TV series. Give me a Darth Maul TV series. Like,
I mean, they kind of did.
yeah, could you call Clone Wars and Rebels that? Sure, but like,
I get what you mean, though.
yeah,
See, like
okay.
bring in like
For
a
so
Darth Revan. Go
yeah,
if
I
you're
say
gonna
yeah,
go.
I was gonna say so we're gonna scratch you on the back here, Darth Revan TV series. Like, give me even animated. I would take that because it's cool to be the good guys, but like I would take a fucking Voldemort TV series in Harry Potter in that like genre because yeah, like we get it. Good triumphs evil, blah blah blah. Like that's the tried and true story for all of time. You look at like any Disney movie, it's like the heroes win in the end. But like why did the villain become the villain?
And that's why Infinity War left such a big impact because like the villain won. Like it was his story.
And I will fucking tell you what, if they just never made Endgame, that would have been the most pivotal fucking movie like in existence.
Imagine if like that was the last thing Marvel did. Like they just ended the MCU right at that moment. Like that's just we build
Again,
up all these characters for you to love them and
after a decade, like that again, and like you said, we if you've read the comics, you know the real story. But to watch a villain come out on top and then the credits roll is a gut punch. It's a gut punch. I mean, at the end of the day, you're just like, what the fuck?
dude,
So,
when I saw it
like,
in theaters, literally the entire theater just like was in shock. They were like, "What?"
what
Like
do you
they
fucking say? What do you say to that? You're just like, oh, okay.
honestly even give us some new, give us like the High Republic like
Well,
era
that
of Star Wars.
I'm very excited for that.
Like
Very excited. So, there's been a lot of so Acolyte's technically High Republic era, and now that they have the books, I met Charles Soule, I believe. Oh, Christ, no, it was the year that we went. It was the first year that we went, so it was 3 years ago. Um, he is awesome. Like his ability to write new Star Wars lore from like a prequel, prequel, hundreds of years before the prequels. That is, I mean, just it's fantastic. Because again, you're realistically at this point, you know where you have to end up, but you're still creating your own world, which I mean, good for you, man. That is nicest guy. He signed those comics for us, gave us those like variant covers,
I used to
the
have
the
them
High
right here, and I
Republics.
think I finally put them in my case. And of course
I
now
need to I
about
need to buy so many fucking comic book like wall hang frames. It's insane. Ever since I did now the number 0 issue Invincible comic signed by Ryan Otley, like Very excited about that. That was also done at Fan Expo this year. Um, I'm sad we didn't get a chance to sit down with the former voice of Something Super, Frank Cho. Um, he was eating lunch when I walked by the one day, and I was like, "Fuck, like, I don't want to bother this guy." But yeah, I definitely need to catch up with him, and maybe he'll do another intro for us for this.
Dude, that'd be awesome. He was a he's another one that was just like super down to earth.
Ah, dude. Eh, And then, god damn it, Russell. I can't think of his last name. I'll have to look up his last name, but I will post the picture that he drew for my daughter. One of the original artists from Lilo and Stitch. Like, she's a huge Lilo and Stitch fan. He drew her a picture of Stitch. Like, I couldn't ask for more out of these people. They're fucking awesome.
Oh, dude, yeah. And it was that picture was awesome too.
Ah, dude, everything. I mean, and what was the you got a book signed as well, The Death in the Family.
Yeah, I got my Death in the Family signed by one of the original linkers. I forgot. I didn't realize the other, both of them were there, but I didn't realize the other one was only one day, not two. I was
Oh,
gonna try to knock them out back to back.
well, here's what we can do. You and I can do some research, see if there's anything local or, again, like a Baltimore type drive that we can do and hit up another Comic Con. I mean, fuck it. That's what we do, is what we're here for. Um, that is our origin story, was Baltimore Comic Con.
Are we eventually going to be cosplaying?
I will fucking dress. If you want to dress up, I will dress up in a heartbeat. I dressed up as Hercules and ran a goddamn half marathon in Disney. If you think that I'm above dressing up, you are fucking sorely mistaken.
I have an abominable
I
man
I
onesie.
am so much. So I got a 10K in Disney for the Wine and Dine in November, and I'm like tossing a couple characters in the air. Like I got like Flynn Rider, uh, Gaston, like, again, like most of these characters are just from movies that my daughter likes. And then I was thinking the other day, I was like, well, I kind of have like a reddish brown facial hair and like hair. I was like, you know what? Fuck it. I could be Obi-Wan from Clone Wars. So I obviously looked up that costume and I was like, well, this is a little more high price than I was expecting. But maybe if I can just get the tunic and like the Jedi robes, I can 3D print the rest of it and call it a fucking day. So that is on my list of things to do. But I think that would be so much fun. But yeah, if you want to fucking do it, I am 1000% in. I will print you a Darth Revan mask.
That'd be awesome. I
And
wouldn't
that'll be
take it
one for
off.
the wall.
I would never take it off. I was this close a couple of years ago. Mind you, never welded a day in my life. Never once. This close to buying a Darth Revan welding helmet.
That's
Just
dope
because it
as
looks
fuck,
cool
though.
as shit.
I've never welded either, but I would totally like. I don't own a motorcycle, but I wanted an Iron Man motorcycle helmet, and that would prompt me to buy a motorcycle, and that's exactly why that's dangerous.
I could never own a motorcycle. I just don't trust myself on one. They go too fast.
That's fair. That's fair. I wanted like a cruiser, just something to and from work, save me a little bit of gas money. We'll see.
See, I would say it's a cruiser and then be doing 95 down the highway.
See, I don't even hit a highway on the way to work. I'm good. I'm all back streets. I'll fucking max out at like 35 miles an hour and my speed demon self. I just got rid of my race car, so
Scratch
gonna
the
take
itch.
it slow for a hot minute. But I mean, guys, this is what we're here for. We love the nerding out on shit, whether it's D&D or Marvel, DC. You got comics, TV, movies. If fuck, you want to talk 3D printing, we're here for that. We're here for a good drink. We're gonna treat this like you're at a bar having a conversation with a friend. So, without further
Maybe
ado,
one day we will be.
yes, absolutely. We'll talk to 2SP. I'll fucking record an episode live from the brewery. I don't care. So, without further ado, and last but not least, guys, thank you so much for listening. You can check us out on all of the major streaming platforms. Our host is now Spotify because they apparently bought Anchor however many years ago. And you can check us out on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, all of your major streaming platforms. You can check us out on Instagram at Nerds Who Drink. Check us out on X, formerly known as Twitter, Nerds Who Drink as well. And we might fucking do TikTok. We may be doing a TikTok. So keep an eye out, keep an ear out. Last but not least, I'm Steve.
Mark.
And we'll catch you guys next week.